The video showed Mara's kitchenette from above the cabinets, where there was no shelf and no camera. For 60 seconds, nothing moved. Then the image cut to black. Mara's digital clock flickered from 12:47 to 12:49. Behind her, a kettle that had been cold began screaming. On the floor beside the laptop was one wet, sock-shaped footprint. It pointed toward the kitchen. Mara worked overnight reviewing rental claims, and unexplained files were usually corrupt attachments or bad syncs. This one had appeared in her private folder without a sender. Its creation time was 12/13/13. The thumbnail was almost black, except for a thin circle missing 3 small notches. She had not filled the kettle. One of her socks was damp, but both soles were clean. A desk camera had been recording her shift. Its image did not contain a missing minute. It contained the same final second repeated 60 times. Mara leaning toward the laptop, the clock fixed behind her, one hand suspended above the trackpad. When normal motion returned, the kettle was already boiling. The file itself had changed. Its new first frame was directly behind Mara's chair. She made the mistake investigators always describe as reasonable afterward. She played it again to determine whether the first event could be repeated. The new footage drifted behind her frozen body, though no person or camera appeared in frame. At the end, the room skipped. Mara found herself in the same chair. A dining chair had been wedged beneath the front doorknob, and a strip of black tape covered the peephole from inside. The chain remained fastened. The deadbolt had never turned. Dust along the window tracks was undisturbed. Whatever had moved the chair had not used an entrance Mara could find. More important, the upload was the only recording that had changed during the lost minute. Every other camera had obediently watched 1 second happen 60 times. Mara reopened the changed file, but stopped it with 2 seconds remaining. The footage showed her motionless at the desk, while the unseen camera circled close enough to lift the hair at her neck. It crossed the kitchen, pushed the chair under the knob, and covered the peephole. The camera moved like a person. It cast no reflection in the kettle. Completing the video, not opening it, was the trigger. She prepared one controlled test. Flour covered the floor around the desk. Thread crossed the locked window, bathroom door, closet, and apartment entrance. Mara photographed every seal, then sat where all 4 boundaries were visible. She completed the upload a 3rd time. The final second caught in her throat and repeated until it no longer sounded like breathing. Then the minute released her. Door threads were intact. So were the seals at the window and bathroom. The closet thread had snapped from the room side. Across the flour, a line of long, bare footprints began beneath the open laptop. They crossed over Mara's clean white socks and ended at the closet. The amber lamp had acquired a narrow crack. The closet door stood open by the width of 2 fingers. That was the reversal Mara had not planned for. She had sealed the room to learn which door the visitor used. It had used none of them. Watching the updated upload for only 58 seconds confirmed it. The camera rose out of the laptop's black reflection, stepped into the flour, and approached the closet. Just before Mara stopped playback, it turned back toward her as if checking whether she was still frozen. Mara closed the laptop without touching the final 2 seconds. She disconnected its power and wrapped it in the cardigan she had removed. Nothing reversed. The footprints remained. So did the gap at the closet. She had learned what the minute permitted, but not what happened when it ended. Until then, she had assumed the visitor was pulled back into the file. She took her keys and phone and backed toward the entrance. Passing the closet, she noticed her hanging raincoat had been turned inside out. One sleeve was wet. Beneath it lay a second damp footprint, also pointing into the room. Mara did not open the closet farther. She removed the chair, broke the door seal herself, and stepped into the corridor without looking back. In the corridor, Mara locked the deadbolt from outside. The building camera followed her normally. No second figure emerged before the stairwell door closed. She descended 6 floors, still waiting for the minute to seize her again. It did not. The upload remained unfinished on the closed machine upstairs. From across the street, Mara found her window on the 6th floor. The cracked amber lamp was still burning. Between it and the rain-streaked curtain stood a tall human outline. It did not pace or search. It simply occupied the room, motionless, as though it had chosen that position before the 3rd minute ended and no longer needed another second of darkness. Mara opened the first photograph she had taken after the kettle screamed. She enlarged the wet mark beside the laptop and compared its heel with the later tracks. It had never matched her sock. More importantly, it pointed away from the screen. The flower prints did the same. The mark beneath the raincoat did the same. Every footprint recorded an arrival. There had never been one pointing back.